Hi, my name's Alyssa, and my project will be focusing on servals, which are medium-sized wild cats found across Africa. I'm looking specifically at a population in Luambe National Park, in eastern Zambia. Servals are fascinating because they rely on healthy grasslands and wetlands, so studying them gives them a window into how well those ecosystems are functioning. The research I'm presenting used motion-activated cameras traps to figure out where servals were living, what habitats they preferred, and how many individuals were actually there. 20 cameras were placed across 40 square kilometers of potential habitat for 74 days. Servals were identified by their unique spot patterns. As you can see in this picture on my poster, you can see how many spots they usually have, and what they look like. And the study captured 7 photos of 4 different adult servals. In this picture right here, you can barely see, but this is a camera trap photo. And right here on the left is a baby serval, a small one. And then right here is an adult one on the right. Um, that wasn't enough, like it wasn't a lot, but it was enough to run a capture recapture model and estimate the population. One of the biggest findings was habitat preference. Servals showed a strong selection for open, moist environments, especially grasslands and riverine woodlands, which are right here on my poster. They avoided dense woodlands like Mopane and Carbatum terminalia. This was backed up by statistical tests like Jacob Index and Johnson's ranking, which showed clear avoidance of those drier, closed habitats. That makes sense because their main prey is small mammals, especially rodents, which are more abundant in those open, wetter areas. Another key result was the population estimate. Based on the camera trap data, researchers estimated between 4 and 7 adult servals in the study area. When you apply that density, about 9.9 servals per 100 kilometers square. To the larger area where serval signs were found, it comes out to around 13 adult servals in the whole park. To put that into perspective, here in Kentucky, that's like having only about 10 wildcats spread across an area the size of Danville and the surrounding countryside. I also looked at what servals eat. Scat analyses from 216 samples show that their diet is mostly small mammals, especially rodents. Birds, reptiles, and insects were also present, but in smaller amounts. A pie chart on my poster shows that small mammals made up the majority of both frequency and biomass. As you can see right here, the green is rodents, the red is birds, and the yellow is reptiles. Um, Servals are strict pet specialists, but they're not generalists either. They have clear preferences, but they can switch when needed. Another interesting finding was about movement. All recaptures occurred at the same station, which suggests that servals in Luambe have smaller than expected home ranges and limited movement across the trap. One figure on my poster, this one right here, shows this visually. It's like they're sticking close to one reliable patch of habitat rather than roaming widely. You can see right here that they are really just liking to stay in this one little area. This graph right here, or this figure, is showing you that where all the droppings that they dropped whenever they had to use the bathroom, but this is showing that they were only liking to be in one spot. Servals matter because they help control rodent populations, act as indicators of healthy grassland and wetland ecosystems. When servals are doing well, it usually means the landscape is supporting strong small mammal communities and functioning the way it should. But they face several threats in Luambe National Park. Habitat loss is a major issue, especially when grasslands and riverine areas are disturbed. Things like burning, farming, and even power lines placed along riverine corridors can push servals away from the habitats they rely on most. As you can see in this picture right here, you can see that They have power lines across the riverine, and you can see right here, barely, that there is some drafts running across there. When these areas are degraded, the small mammals they hunt also decline, making it harder for servals to survive. Protecting grasslands and riverine woodland is one of the most important steps for supporting serval populations. These habitats provide their prey, their hunting grounds, and the open space they need to move safely. When we protect these areas, we're not just helping servals, we're helping the entire ecosystem stay healthy. So overall, my project shows you where servals live, how many they are, what they eat, and why conserving their habitat is important. And by using simple language, clear visuals, and comparisons to familiar places in Kentucky, I'm hoping you all can connect with a species that you may have never heard of before and walk away understanding why it matters. Thank you. So